With education in all forms today, classes tend to be either wholly online or wholly face to face. While some hybrid degrees are gaining in popularity in fields like nursing and law, these mostly demarcate courses between remote and in person. What if the same class, and not just the same class content, could be taught to both in person and remote students at the same time? Jimmy Giliberti, general manager of Number 9, a VR video production company, has been thinking about scenarios like these for some time. Number 9 operates as a subsidiary of the Glimpse Group, an umbrella company that brings together VR and AR expertise across numerous fields. Along with another company, Foretell, Giliberti has recently developed Project Chimera, a VR presentation solution that brings together live and remote audiences and presenters in the same space. Hi, my name is Henry Kronk for eLearning Inside. This week on EdTechnically, I got in touch with Jimmy Giliberti to discuss Project Chimera, the work he's doing with Number 9 in the Glimpse Group, and how this is potentially going to change remote education.
So, hi, my name is Jimmy Giliberti, and I am the general manager of Number 9. What we're doing, and the interesting thing about Chimera as a code name or as a project name, is it is the DNA of two entities being blended together into something new. And so, in essence, what we're doing is grafting 3D, immersive, and in this case, I'm mainly using 180-degree video. I could use 360, but in this case, it's most of my projects have been using 180. And grafting that into a CG environment that allows people who are, in this case, participating in a event or a class or a presentation virtually.
In the intended setup, a teacher or presenter would speak from the front of the room to an audience comprised of IRL students or attendees, a monitor showing remote students, and a 180-degree camera live streaming her remarks. The monitor shows a virtual classroom with virtual rows of chairs. In those chairs sit graphic representations of remote students. Those virtual attendees, wherever they are in the world, can stream into the lecture via the Number 9 app and a pre-specified conference link. Donning their VR headsets, they see what the 180-degree camera sees. Using their controllers, they can raise their hands, take notes, and gesture as they speak.
And basically, you've set up a monitor or multiple monitors directly in front of the presenter so they can kind of also see into the virtual world. And it doesn't affect their way of teaching. And that's one of the things we wanted to try to solve was, you didn't want to necessarily put an instructor in VR in a virtual space, which there's social VR spaces. It solves the issue of everybody being in the same place and everybody being immersed and everybody being closed, but it does affect your way of teaching. In this case, you're in essence being able to get that same immersion to the people who are remote. But it's like you would scope the room and seeing who's paying attention, who's not, things like that. When you look down into the monitor, you would see the people who are remote as if they're avatars. So you see if they're looking at you or talking with each other or just kind of goofing off. You'd have that same type of view that you might have with real students.
Provided that everyone involved has the right devices and software, an in-person peer could even use a tablet to see and interact with their remote counterparts. The technology is continuing to develop.
Most of the stuff is already there to allow for, if I had an object in the virtual class that I wanted to share. So, a typical example is I'm in biology and I have the big honking scaled up version molecule, and I want to show and pass it to my fellow student. I could look at it, manipulate it, turn it around, an idea, and say, here, you look at it, and pass it on. So all of those types of things you can't do in real life, you're going to be able to do inside, inside the virtual aspect of it.
At the moment, number 9 is prioritizing HTC Vive VR headsets and controllers, but Giliberti expects there will be new integrations available in the near term. The technology is still very new. In fact, their patent was only filed at the beginning of May. For now, the company has reduced lag time down to 3 seconds, but Giliberti expects that will fall even further. In terms of data usage, it would have been considered heavy some years ago, but now it can be done with most North American mobile connections. The dual live streaming in 4K resolution pushes about 4 megabits per second. As the required hardware becomes more widely available, Giliberti imagines the use of the technology will grow.
The terms you'll hear me use are presenter and attendee, because it kind of could take it as well as, there's a student-teacher relationship. It also, if I'm an evangelist for VR, I could do a presentation on my product to people who are local or remote. So it could be enterprise, it could be, training's a great thing on this one. Not just the push type of thing. I may be able to have someone showing how to use a particular machine. So it isn't just if you're local, it's you're local and, you'll have the same type of ability to interact with the people remotely. It depends on how you define remote based on what you're doing at the time. So if you're, if you have a guide in Rome who's going to show you around, then everybody's remote.
This has been Ed Technically. My name is Henry Kronk, and I write for eLearning Inside. If you like this episode, please rate it and please review it. If you want to hear more, please subscribe. Also, keep in mind that this show is available as a video on our YouTube channel and as a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. The basic content for this video first appeared as an article on eLearning Inside, and if you want to learn more about online courses, technology in the classroom, and EdTech in general, be sure to check out our site. It's updated every day. If you want to get in touch with me, please send an email to henry@elearninginside.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @eLearningInside. Thanks for listening.